Alright, this is John from the Pollok committee. Thank you for answering a few questions about some of the general day-to-day stuff that goes on around about the ground. What does a typical Saturday session involve?
Well, under normal circumstances, we're down here around 7, half 7. It's a case of whoever's down here, the usual crew, get the goal nets up, make sure the track at the side of the pitch is neat and tidy, just going around the ground, making sure it's clean, ready for fans to come in. Then just kind of basic kind of odd jobs then in the run up to the afternoon. And again, under normal circumstances, there's a good group of us down here usually. Make sure to have a good breakfast at some point during the morning, which we all look forward to keep us going. And yeah, normally we'd have a nice routine and quite enjoy just being out here. First group of us down in the morning is quite a nice time, and always good then to see things just coming together in preparation for the match.
With that in mind, obviously it's a wee bit of an extended summer, close season, shall we say, onto the pandemic. So what are some of the improvements in maintenance that have been made to the ground for this summer?
I think primarily it's the longest break the pitch has actually had. So there in February it was a particularly wet month, so the pitch was bare in parts and it was taking a right hammering because of the weather. It's been given time to basically rest, it's been fertilised, the lads have been on it very regularly, cutting it, and it's got the sand on it now at this stage, so the contractors have been in and done that bit of work for us, and as you can see it's recovered really well. So I think that's the main improvement really would be on the pitch, and hopefully that will be kind of noticed by players and everyone once football starts back. We've been lucky enough to have volunteer member Stephen McGregor doing a bit of joinery work for us on both dugouts, which was much needed. There's been a hell of a lot of kind of painting and tidying up kind of going on, cutting back of some trees, and basically a lot of kind of tidying up around the ground, and lucky enough as well to have Raymond McCann doing the painting for us inside the pavilion as well, which is a fine job as well.
What have been the main challenges in maintaining ground, particularly during the early stages whenever social distancing and lockdown regulation was a lot tighter?
It was particularly difficult. You know, you're down to just a very small group of people and having to be aware of social distancing, so we're kind of finding that it's just, you could get started on a kind of a part of a job and it was taking maybe a lot longer to get work done. And we're quite maybe limited in terms of how much we could do as well. I think generally just for those of us that were down here, while we're trying to be kind of careful, I suppose it's been good for us to come down at some point because we're missing the football, but we're also missing our usual routine as well. So we've tried to keep it going as best we can, but as safely as possible as well. And as I mentioned earlier, like we're out of the habit now of having our usual breakfast together because we're just outdoors.
What other jobs are there on the to-do list before the potential kick-off of the season, whenever that may be?
It's a bit more painting to be done, and as you can see I've been kind of tasked with some of that. So we'll kind of keep going with that, make sure the ground is tidied up. The most important jobs left will be around guidelines for safety. So we've got two kind of COVID compliance officials working at the moment, and they'll be looking at the guidelines very closely. So that's quite a big bit of work.
Okay, that's brilliant, John. Thank you for your time. I'll let you get back to your paintbrush.
Thanks very much, Mark. All the best.